everyone. Continuing our video from last week, we drew a rough outline of a room, and today we're going to transfer that to graph paper so we can make it to scale drawing, and we can do furniture layouts. We can, know exactly where things are going to go. Basically, this is a good step if you want perfect drawing of your room. So all you need is graph paper, a pencil, a ruler, and possibly a calculator unless you want to do the calculations in your head. So the first thing, you're going to take your graph paper and you're going to count the squares down and across, and just be careful, like some are half squares and some are tight on the edges. I try and go in one square just so I can make sure that my room outline is going to be actually on my paper. So this one is 33 squares across by 42. And they're about 1/4 inch if you measure them. So from there, I'm going to look at my rough outline. And if you noticed in the video last week, I kind of wrote different measurements, whether I wrote feet or inches. So before I even start, I'm going to use my calculator and write down the equivalents. If I wrote feet, I'm going to write inches. If I wrote inches, I'll write what the feet is. So my room is a 10 by 12 shape. So I know that I want my long wall to be on the long side of the graph paper and my short wall to be on the short side. So I know that there are 33 squares this way and 42 this way, and from there I can decide the scale that I want my drawing to be. So I know I have to have 10 feet that can fit on the short way and 12 feet. So let's go with the 10 feet first, and we have 33. Now that's a kind of an odd number, so we'll switch it down to 32 and then divide it by 10. So I would say each square is going to be 1/3 of a foot, which means each square is going to be 4 inches. So that works for this way, for my 10-foot wall. Let's see if it works for my 12-foot wall before I even start drawing things out, because I want to make sure I have it right. So once I start drawing the room, it's going to be to scale. And that way you don't have to erase things as much or start over on a new paper. So 42 squares, and we said that they are 4 inches each, so 1/3 of a foot. I could get a 14-foot wall, but I don't have 14 foot, I have a 12-foot wall. That's just doing 42 divided by 3. So what I'm going to do is start in one corner of my graph paper, and I'm going to go up. So every 3 squares, I put a little line, and that's where my foot measurements are. And then it's a lot easier then I don't have to count each individual square. I already did that. I kind of just go to where I think I have it, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So same thing, I'm going to count 3 little squares as 1 foot and put a little line. I can just count overall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's my 10-foot wall. So that gets my 2 walls. Now, if we remember, my room shape was a bit odd last time. So I drew my room this way, but now I know that it's actually to scale the other way. So what I'm going to do is then put all of these measurements of the other walls. So let me go ahead and do that. My first 3 walls were really easy. They were exact measurements, but once you get to walls that are not exact measurements, so this one I have is 41, and this one across is 101. So that's when your calculator is going to come into play. So I wrote that it's 3.4 inches, but if we want to do it properly and do it to scale, we'll do 41, and I know that 3 feet is 36. So 41 minus 36, and we have 5 inches left. Now, we remember that each of these little squares is going to be 4 inches wide. So what I'm going to do for this wall is I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3 perfect ones, and then I'm just going to go a little bit bigger into there, and that'll be kind of where my 1 inch is. You can go as perfect as you want, and then I'm going to do the same thing across over here for the 101. Now I know it's 8 feet, so I think it's going to be the same thing actually. It's just over 8 feet, so 8 feet is 96, so 101 minus 96 is 5 inches. left. So yeah, same thing, 5 inches left. So, and my last wall was exactly 3 feet, so that works out for those 2 lines. It worked out for me. Hopefully it works out for you. So as we can see, we have our basic shape outline, and we just are missing our windows and doors, or if you had any floor registers you needed to put in, because you're probably not going to be moving those. So I'm just gonna draw my doors, and I wrote 4 inches. I know that each of these little squares is 4 inches. And for a door, mine is 30 inches, so that's 2.5 feet. So I'm gonna go like that, so 1.5 squares. And then on this side, I'm gonna measure the same thing, but I won't, I'll just mark a little line. And you can do a circle, or you can just go straight across. Basically, it shows where the door swing is. And then in my drawing, I also have my closet doors, which are on this wall. So we start here and we make sure to count our feet from our starting point and don't go to the outer limits here. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a little foot. So I kind of skipped that one first because I know this one isn't an exact measurement. It's 56 inches, which is about 4.5 feet. So we'll put my closet door kind of like that, and it's about 3 feet wide. So 1, 2, and 3 feet wide, and it's just under, but I'll go like this. And for my closet door, I'm just gonna kind of color a square in like this. And that's my closet door. And I'm gonna make the same shape over here for this wall for my window. I know I'm 11 inches, which is just under 1 foot, so this one will be easy. And I just draw from here, and it's 52 inches, which is over 4 feet. So we can just use this 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just a bit more, and just a bit more this way. And again, I'm going to draw kind of that square shape. And you can write down window if you want, and closet. And you can also write your measurements back onto the graph paper now that everything is to scale. So now that we have our perfect room layout, we're going to add the furniture. So I take this page aside and I start a whole new page. And you're gonna see, we're gonna do a fun little thing where we play around and move with the furniture, so you will need some scissors for this. So for my dresser was the only thing I had in the room last time, but I'm gonna add some more furniture today to show you kind of what it looks like. So using the exact same scale, which is 3 squares for 1 foot, or 1 little graph square is 4 inches, we're gonna write down our measurements for our furniture. We're gonna make little furniture outlines. And it doesn't matter where you go, I kind of start using the one side of the paper so that when I cut around it, I don't have to waste a whole graph paper. So let's go ahead and make the little dresser. Now another thing when you're doing dressers is you might also want to measure the drawers when you pull them out. I didn't do that the first week, so if you need that measurement, if you're scared about putting other furniture in front, if you don't have a lot of space, you'll want to write that down. And what I'll do is, let's just pretend that the drawers come out a foot. I use little dotted lines in case I want to put another piece of furniture next to it. I obviously want to be able to open the drawer fully. And let's go put in some other furniture in our room. This is a nursery, so there's going to be a crib. I'm going to have a rocking chair, maybe an ottoman, and a rug, but I'm going to skip the rug for now because I just want to get my big furniture pieces, so I make sure where they're going to fit in. Once you have all your little furniture pieces drawn up, you're going to take a pair of scissors and you're going to cut along the lines. You still want to see your pencil marks, and that's just giving you a buffer in case maybe you measured a ½ inch off, or you obviously don't want things, you know, completely touching walls. Maybe there's baseboards you have to account for. It's also easier to see what your measurements are. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them out. And then once we're done, we're going to take our original room layout, our perfect room layout, and we're going to have our perfect little furniture pieces, and we can play around with them in our room and determine our layout. And you can make it fun, and you can color your little furniture pieces or color a rug into the room if you know exactly what rug size you want. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. This is how we make a perfect floor plan that's to scale to our room. I hope you had fun creating these floor plans and moving your little pieces of furniture around. If you're having any issues, you can contact me. I do offer layout design services, so if you have a rough outline, I can take it and do it on the computer for you and send you some options of what your floor plan can be. And you can reach out to me at madnessandmethod.com. All the information should be there. And once again, thanks for watching.